What's up, everybody? It's Kendrick from Gaming Sauce. Today I'm joined by Todd Buffalino
Hello, hello.
and Jaeger Mitchell.
Alles Gute zum Geburtstag.
All right, guys. As always, we're going to start our show with what we've been playing. Jaeger, what have you been up to?
I haven't been playing much. I dropped some in-game currency on a subscription to World of Warcraft and played that a little bit, since now I don't have to pay real money for it. But other than that, not much. I guess in that game you can fly around now. That was a big thing because people got angry about that. But really, I was just looking to level up a character or two to 100, so I'd be ready for the next expansion.
How has WoW changed? Is it still the same game that you loved?
Uh, uh, I mean, yeah, it's a really solid game. Uh, there's a reason that even though it's declining in popularity, it's still the most played MMO. I mean, the it just plays so well. It's so expansive, and the wealth of content in that game is unparalleled. So, I mean, yeah, I still love it, but I wouldn't say I love it as I used to. There's definitely some nostalgia working into that.
Cool. And then, what character were you playing?
I have an undead warlock, and that's my main character. And I'm currently in a heroic raiding guild. I know I'm one of those nerds, but yeah, I
Okay,
mean
I'm
it's
gonna,
kind of
I'll
my
pretend I
destiny.
understood what the hell
So,
you just said, but sure.
yeah, that's why I mean, of all the reasons not to play Destiny, like all the Bungie, and this Descent of Madness, there's all of those reasons. But at the end of the day, it's still a solid game, and my main reason for not really jumping in is, I don't want to become addicted to that too. So I know I know I am
Really, it's
susceptible
like
to addiction.
Destiny's cool, and like you're playing it. It's like you're in school, you're going through life, and then they're like, "Hey, here's a class on doing amazing drugs," and that's how like raids. 'Cause
Uh,
once you raid and like once you get like one good drop, you're like, "There's 15 more drops to get." You're gonna
I'm
be
sorry,
all.
buddy, but I'm in abstinence-only education right now.
But yeah, raids in any game are like crazy. Like even Diablo. People say rifts aren't raids. Rifts are raids.
Yeah, they look like raids to me, so.
Yep. All right, Todd, what have you been up to, man?
Ah, just kind of watching the wife play Witcher, and then I jumped into some Far Cry 4, just kind of working on my backlog a little bit, and that's still fun, taking over outposts and climbing towers and just flying that little mini helicopter and go. I haven't opened up the second part of the map yet, but just flying over there and having it basically crash and tell me to go away is is fun. So, but yeah, I've been enjoying that and still plugging away on clearing every question mark and finding everything I can in The Witcher 3. So that's what I've been up to. But as far as World of Warcraft, because I never touched it, what was the draw? Please, someone explain that to me.
I started when I was young, so I mean that's probably the draw for me.
Is it, so are you sure? Did you ever start? I mean, did you always rebuild? Did you always run with the same character, so you have an active account, or how's that?
Yeah, I mean the way it works is like once you start, your subscription can lapse, but nothing ever goes away. So you go back to it, and you're going to go back to it once you start. There's no chance that you're not. I have friends who say that they quit, but honestly, they didn't quit. They just took a really extended break. They're going to go back to it. It's just the way it happens.
Yeah, because hasn't the I've heard recently that the player count's kind of. I mean, for Blizzard, it's kind of fallen off a little bit.
Yeah,
Like it's down. Like at one point in time, at its height, it was at like what 15 million people playing that game.
yeah, it got pretty close to that. I think it was 13 or 14. But that was probably Wrath of the Lich King, and then since then it's been on a slow decline. And then when Warlords of Draenor first came out, it increased to I think 10 or 11 million, which was really good numbers for them. And since then, it's declined to about 6 or 7 million. which is still great numbers for a game, but it declined a lot because they weren't keeping up with content and pushing out new patches or anything like that. Their
Yeah.
first patch that they had come out was 6.1, and it added Twitter integration, selfie cams, uh, and it also unlocked a raid, which is the only good thing it did. It unlocked the next raid tier, which is pretty fun. So,
Cool.
but I mean, when your main draw is Twitter integration and updated in-game models to 15-year-old models or whatever, 10-year-old models, you need to get your priorities straight because that's not going to keep players around for another year.
Right. Any clue as to what Blizzard is doing now? I mean,
Yeah, well, they announced their next game or the next expansion, which is World of Warcraft Legion. In typical Blizzard fashion, they didn't say much about it. They're very vague. They promise a lot of things that you don't know if they're still going to be like that when it comes around to launch. They always drop things from their original plan, and so you have to take the original idea that they sell to you with a grain of salt for sure. But
right.
I mean, that's just how game development works, and when you're putting out ideas for a game that people are so invested in, and they're invested in all those ideas, those storylines, how the game's going to play, you're going to say things and promise things that aren't going to end up coming to fruition, and that's just how
Right.
game development works.
Yeah, and because I'm sure they're pushing Heroes of the Storm pretty hard.
Yeah, they're pushing all of their other games really hard too, like Overwatch and Hearthstone's really popular right now. So I mean,
Yeah.
they're not losing money by any
Oh
means.
God, no. Blizzard is. I'm not worried about Blizzard going away, but it's just, it just seems like they kind of like they're doing the. It seems to me they're doing the bare minimum on
Of
on
course,
WoW.
I would definitely
these
agree with
days.
that. Yeah.
But,
I'm gonna give a shout out to Hearthstone real quick, 'cause that game's crack. That game.
Yeah, I like it.
if I touch Hearthstone, I think I may never be seen again. So I'll just stay away from it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that game. I'm to the point of that game too, where like I like re-fell in love with it in like the middle of the summer, like during the drought. And now that they came out with their new Grand Tournament expansion, I feel like I'm like at the point where I'm like, okay, I can stop because that's 170 new cards to find, and I'm like, okay, we'll pick it up every now and then during a show or a movie, but step away for a minute.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. Blizzard really nails getting the formula right of just pure gameplay, and then on top of that, they put in story elements. But I mean, it's so polished, you can't help but love it, and it's good for intermediate players, beginners, or super super advanced people, which is really what I love about their games.
Yeah, it seems Blizzard knows what they're doing, obviously, because they created WoW and then everyone tried to copy them. So they obviously did something right, but it's just I wish they would, and this probably won't happen. I would love to see Blizzard take what they can do and put it into their storytelling abilities and their polish and the time they take to make a game, make it what they are. Because every time they put something out, it goes bananas. Like Diablo 3 went nuts. StarCraft went insane. So I would love to see what they could do on a single player. Just a complete story-driven game would be fun to see.
Yeah, I'd really love to see that, but with like the way the games are right now and what's popular, I just can't see that being something they would invest in. Like everybody wants a Warcraft RTS to come back, like a Warcraft 4, but realistically, that's not going to happen for a while at least. They've said that they want to do it, and they also want to work on a StarCraft 3, but just realistically, with where their resources are and what sells, they know that they have other things they can invest in that would have a way bigger return. So, I mean, and when it's Activision calling the shots, what do you expect?
Yeah, especially with what we heard about Destiny this week.
Yep.
That came out about that when that guy was suing them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
that guy, don't you ever call Marty O'Donnell that guy.
I'm sorry, Halo boy.
He's a god among men.
Uh-huh. He was able to come up with monks chanting, and the rest of the world was.
Yeah, he came up with that. I think he was in a bathroom or in a car. So
He was in the car on his way, and the guy was like, "Have something ready." So he sits there in his car, and he goes, and then he's like messing with it on the car ride, and then he gets in, and he's like, gets in the office. Like, that's it. That's Halo. All the changes he used to come up with it in a car. He's a genius.
Yeah, that was a Mac conference score that he made. So, oh man.
Yeah, very good composer. It's just
See, Apple invents everything, man. Even GIFs.
Okay. Yeah, have you guys seen any of the stuff that came out about that this week?
Yeah, man, that new gigantic iPad, which is totally not a Surface, and then the Apple Pencil, which is totally not a Surface Pen.
Oh no, I was talking about Marty O'Donnell and him suing Bungie.
Oh, not Apple. Okay, we're not going to talk about that.
We tried to avoid that.
It's about Apple.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous story. Basically, that Marty O'Donnell's been suing Bungie for his termination, and basically it came out that Activision completely seized control of what Destiny was going to be and told them this is how it's going to be.
Right.
You're going to sit down and do it, and Marty was like, "You guys are ridiculous for listening to this."
Right.
Now you got rumors about how Bungie's trying to come back from that a year later, saying, "Hey, we made all this money. Taken King might make all this money, so let us go back to our original plan." And Activision's like, "No, that's not going to happen. Destiny 2 is coming out next year. Deal with it."
Well, yeah, but I find it funny that the guy that Marty sued, one, got his old job back, and he's still a member of the board. So that's gotta be fun. You fired me. You can't fire me, and I'm still here. So fuck you.
Yeah, I would love to sit in on one of those board meetings with
God,
Marty
that'd be hilarious. I would pay massive amounts of money to watch that.
Yeah, that's why the lead writer of Destiny left too.
Yeah, Joe Staten. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
sad,
right?
Yeah, he's working at Microsoft, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the creative director on an unannounced project. So.
Yeah.
Making that KOTOR 3.
He also just wrote a book for the Halo universe called Halo: Shadow of Intent, and it focuses on the shipmaster from Halo 2, Halfjaw, and his female elite counterpart, which is the first female elite we've actually second female elite we've ever seen, but the first one that actually looks like an elite and not a human.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good job.
So basically, these guys are moving on to things that they love after being screwed out of Bungie. So.
Yeah, and it even came up more into that so Taken King is coming out next week for Destiny. Destiny 2 was supposed to be coming out next week. Their original plan for the franchise came out, and oh my gosh, they were gonna churn this game out like no other and not care.
Yeah, it was gonna be 4 games, right? That's what they said.
Yeah, it's bad. It was like 2013, 2017, 2015, 2017, 2019, and then it's 2020, like a big expansion that would just end it.
Yep.
Now they've stretched it out. Maybe Activision comes around to not doing these random DLCs here and there. But,
we're still talking about Activision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not going to happen because they're gonna retread Nuketown for the 4th fucking time in the new Black Ops game.
Hey, it's not Nuketown. It's Nuketown where the E is a 3 and the O is 0. It's Nuke for 3 Town.
Yeah, so it's the same map up-res from the Xbox 360 version of the game. Yay! Enjoy it.
With that map too, they said that they're gonna change it a little bit to put in wall running and stuff. If they screw up Nuketown, kiss your game goodbye. That game's nothing. That game is dead to you if you screw up Nuketown.
How about get creative and maybe come up with a new map?
Dude, no, that map is straight up the dust of Call of Duty. There's not a better never in any Call of Duty game.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now.
Oh God,
the guy doesn't play multiplayer. Do you agree, Jaeger? If you play Call of Duty multiplayer, am I a one-man army here?
I've played it, and that's all I have to say about that.
Shout out to the garage on B House on Search and Destroy, sitting behind that, laying down and spinning around that bomb as you defuse it.
I've also watched a lot of those 360 no-scope videos with the air horns. Those are good. Those are good.
And then in Black Ops 2, you could shoot all the heads off the mannequins and then play music and run around. That was a thing you could do. All right, so coming back around to what we've been playing. Todd, that was all you've been playing?
Yeah.
All right. So, in a new series, I want to start here for when Todd talks about what he's playing. His wife's been playing Witcher 3. He talked about this 2 episodes ago. So each week, I'd like for us to recommend a game to her. So this week, the recommendation for Todd's wife.
Hold on.
Next little stuff.
Okay, go ahead, guys.
So the recommendation this week for Todd's wife and new Xbox One releases is Castle Crashers, which was a game on Xbox 360. It's available for $15. There's a free trial on there. So, this series is to recommend to not just Todd's wife, other people's wives, other people listening, casual gamers. Castle Crashers is super cool, 4-player co-op game. Like an old action arcade game where you're side-scrolling. It's got swords, medieval combat, great co-op game. Todd, great for you and your wife to sit down, smash stuff up together.
Yeah,
100
we'll
hours
download the demo.
Fun cartoon style. And then, a lot of people were like, how could this look better? I looked at screenshots today, and when I can look at a game like that and see the penciling along with the ink on a character, that's next gen.
Yeah, it looks very cool. We'll definitely be downloading that demo. She played it back in the day, so she said she liked it. So we'll definitely probably pick that up and get our co-op on.
Well, cool.
Yeah, that studio put out great games, and that's my favorite of theirs. So it's such a deep game. It has so many unlocks and stuff, but at the same time, it's so accessible to everybody. Like, you can pick it up with friends that haven't played games in years, and they'll really enjoy it. So
yeah, I'm sure there are all kinds of arcade games that the Xbox Live arcade games that are still out there that break the brains of the world and stuff like that they would absolutely enjoy. Costume Quest, stuff like that would be. What's that?
The Costume Quest 2, the game we all wanted, but they
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, all right, cool. She'll take the recommendations.
So, that's what everyone's been playing. For the second podcast episode in a row, I'll talk about Destiny and bore everyone to sleep. So
all right, I'm just gonna take a nap. Check me out when you're done.
So, Destiny released their 2.0 update this week. Yesterday, if you're listening to this on a Wednesday, it was September 8th, and basically, this is Destiny's been around for a year. Starts year 2 of Destiny. The big update in it is how they've changed the leveling system. Today, you can level up to level 34, which has been the level cap since their last expansion. But you'll be able to level up to level 40 when the expansion comes out next week. And the way that's changed is that their light system, which was your level past level 20, it's still there. But the way it's changed is that it's an average of your attack and defense. So what that determines is how you can get into the higher level stuff, how you can get to your end game, your raid and all that. You'll need a certain light level to get to higher versions of the raid. I like this a lot because what it's going to do is it's going to make it so that if you see someone who's level 40 but they're light level 130, you know that they're just there to play multiplayer, kind of mess around in PvP and stuff. But if they're light level 40 or light level 240, then you know that they've raided, that they're really good players. And it's a good way for players to show what they've accomplished in the game. I like that a lot. They balanced out a lot of weapons. As far as multiplayer goes, everyone's joke about year 1 is that auto rifles were king and then they nerfed them. Auto rifles are back. They're not king, but they're usable now. And then the gun that everyone's been talking about for multiplayer that they've hated is Thorn, which is a hand cannon that poisons you when you get shot by it. It was a 3-hit kill, 2 headshots, and that's been nerfed now. No one uses it, and that's awesome because that thing was stupid. So, in general, talking about hand cannons are useless now in multiplayer. You can use them if you want, but you're not going to be successful. So I like that because in any multiplayer game, you should use a rifle, not a pistol. Okay? You can use a pistol to have fun, but the only pistol worth having in any multiplayer game is the Halo 1 pistol. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
They've changed perks, and you can find like this in more detail. We put the patch notes up on the site. 3,300 words for this 20 gigabyte update. They've changed perks. They've changed, legendary weapons like base. Exotics have been changed too, to where like abilities are a little bit different. Tons of stuff. So, the other main thing is that they've added in quests into the game. So this is kind of going to make it easier for any player jumping in, where it's quests, like World of Warcraft, any MMO. Borderlands is a great loot shooter that has quests. I like it because it weaves the game in more together. So it's not super confusing in that you're going and you're doing a mission on a map. There's a quest line that's stringing you along. It's got a good conservative amount of XP to kind of make sure that you're leveled up for everything. You don't come across anything that's super leveled, which is really good. Quests is just going to streamline the game. It's going to make people easier to play the story. It's going to make it easier to experience the
What
deal.
story?
The story. That's all I'll say.
So basically, they've taken their RPG and made it an RPG. So they've added questing, and here's a novel idea. With the way you level up is by earning XP. Surprise, surprise. They came to that 2.5 years too late, and they've taken away the confusing bullshit that was that game when it first launched. Am I right?
Yeah, well, they've embraced RPG, which is something that, like I talked about last week. They're teetering the line between it being a shooter and an RPG. They've embraced it. This game's an RPG. Do it. Embrace it.
Yeah, I have to say, like, the new leveling system and how the light mechanic works now, it shows that in Activision there's been a lot of communication between developers and like trading ideas, because that system has been in almost exactly that system has been the World of Warcraft system since launch, where there are like, it's called an eye level in World of Warcraft, and basically it's just a cap on top of your level. I mean, Diablo uses that too with like Paragon levels and item levels on your weapons, but it really shows how in between these properties and with these different developers, they've really been talking a lot. It also shows in Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls. It shows in Overwatch. It shows in the new Call of Duty with the class systems and the weapons and all that. But I think it's really interesting, but I hope it doesn't go the Ubisoft route where, you have towers that you have to unlock in every game now. Or I guess there's going to be classes in every game now, in every Activision game. I don't want a car game with classes and one-shot pistols, so.
Well, now you got me thinking, what if in Black Ops 3, instead of more prestiges, you have Paragon levels? I just blow that one out of the water. You can take that one, Treyarch. Take that to the bank. Charge $5 for it. Another Paragon level set. $5 more in 3 months. There you go.
So don't give them any ideas.
Well, actually, with this update to Destiny and what they're doing to it, it actually makes me kind of want to check it out now.
Yeah.
Because it makes it, because Bungie knows how to make a shooter, so I'm not worried about the shooting mechanics, but them actually adding a story and making the leveling system make sense to everybody makes me want to go, okay, maybe I'll give this game a try and see what's what.
Yeah, it's just smart by them. Like I talked about it a lot last week, how they talked about how they've talked to like guys from developers of WoW who have played Destiny, and they're like, look, your game needs this. Like, you need this, this, and this. And things that they learned from, like, vanilla World of Warcraft going into Burning Crusade, which was their first expansion, which I don't really remember a WoW before Burning Crusade. Like, when I came around to WoW, Burning Crusade was out. So, like, everything that I think of as WoW when it started might be a little bit different because of what they changed from Burning Crusade. And same thing goes for Diablo with what they changed from Reaper of Souls, which is, like, I've compared this to Reaper of Souls, like, so much. Like, a lot of people had problems with Diablo just because, like, once you were done with it, there wasn't really an end game. That's what Reaper of Souls brought. The problems everyone's had with Destiny was that there's no story. You're just running around on a mission, shooting things. It strings you along. There's leveling and all that. Then, like, everyone's problem was that to level up past level 25, pretty much, you had to raid. You had to play the in-game stuff, or you put the game down. And that's like not what they want. They want you having activities. They want you having things to do. So that's what they've done. And like Bungie's kind of like basically like Blizzard's like baby brother in a way. Like that's kind of how I think about it, because of how much they've communicated with the WoW developers and the Diablo developers, taking ideas from them and then used it for this. So
yeah, and making at least in my case, making it something that I don't have to team up with anybody or play. You know, I can play it through by myself and enjoy it, and not hit a wall at the end of the story and go, okay, well, that was $40 well spent. You know, I'd much rather get my time and money out of it as opposed to, you know, being forced to go online when that's not what I enjoy. It's not what I enjoy about gaming.
So are you telling me 20 hours of shooting into a cave is not your ideal game?
No, it's not. Nope.
hey man, that was good times though. Me and my friends shooting at the back.
Yeah,
I don't doubt that. I've had a lot of fun times in games doing stupid stuff like in Halos, but I mean, there still was a main story content and multiplayer content that I loved to that. It was an addition to shooting into a cave.
Yeah, if I want to do stupid stuff, I'll pop in GTA and just kill some cops and see how long I can last.
Nothing wrong with driving around in a circle in Grand Theft Auto. Nothing wrong with that. I do it every now and then.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Do something, I go for a drive in Grand Theft Auto and see what happens.
Yeah. Or if I need to clear my head, I go for a walk in the Red Dead. So you never know.
But yeah, like as far as like the way Destiny's quest system is going to work is that like once you're done with the story, once you're done with all the expansion stories, there's still going to be quests to do. Still going to be things to do. I think the coolest quest out of all of them is that there's a quest for every subclass. So you kind of learn the abilities of the subclass. Like that wasn't really communicated either, in that you had all these abilities, you had all these dots, but you didn't really know why you needed to use them in this way. And so the way that they designed that quest is to teach you about these abilities. Like the biggest one is the hunter has a subclass where you can turn invisible, and you have to put the perks in it for a certain way to use that completely. And it confused a lot of people over like year one, where like you kind of be in a raid and you tell a hunter to go invisible, and he didn't even know that he could. Well, now there's a quest where like you have to learn about invisibility, and that's the way the quest is learned. Which I think those quests have kind of come from them not knowing how these classes were going to play, and then how they should be played. So then the quest can kind of streamline that into a way of playing it, and then kind of discovering for yourself how you want to play it.
Yeah, and aren't they releasing a new package come next week? A new $60 package with all of the DLC and Taken King.
Yeah, so basically Destiny that came out last year. They're kind of trying to get rid of all copies of that, so you can find it for like $5 somewhere. But like you shouldn't really even buy that because they're packaging it all together, where it's Destiny, 2 DLCs that have come out, and then Taken King, and it's going to be $60. It'll be a full retail game. So it's kind of like the World of Warcraft Battle Chest, where if you don't have WoW, you don't have the expansions, you buy the Battle Chest rather than an expansion or just WoW. I think it's a really good deal because like the value of it, if you did it the way you would do it now, which you bought Destiny, bought the 2 DLCs, which is $40, and then another $40 for Taken King, that's $85 right there you've already spent. So then this package is $60.
Yeah, so you're basically, $60 for the game. Someone like you who bought the game originally $60, $20 for each expansion, and another $40 for the Taken King. You're up to what? Damn near almost $200.
I'll be up to $130 because I spent $90 on the collector's edition.
Oh, okay. So you're one of those crazy people.
$40 for Taken King. Dude, I knew right away, man. I was like, take my money. This is it. I felt like an investor in this game. I invested in this game. 730 hours later, my investment worked out.
Fair enough.
There's people like what's their name? Funhouse from Rooster Teeth. There's this guy on there. He says a game should be $1 an hour. That's like
Spool.
Yeah, Spool says $1 an hour. So if I had put 90 hours into Destiny over their game and 2 expansions, I would have gotten my money's worth. So I'm making money now, 730 hours. Physical, fake money. But,
Yeah, I mean, you're enjoying it. You're enjoying it. That's cool. And like I said, it's what they're doing to change it and how they're improving it makes me wanna check it out.
Yep. So I've been trying to do kind of like a Destiny week thing on the site where I have pieces coming out, but I'm networking on 2 pieces right now. So kind of what I'm hoping is that since today's Wednesday, I'll post up this podcast discussion. This will be our part 3 of Destiny week, Um, number one was I posted this awesome video just to kind of feature this YouTuber. He made this thing about how Destiny Year 1 has worked. You can find it on Badass Gaming on YouTube. Posted a feature about it on the site. Super funny. He kind of made fun of like all the stuff that everyone hated, and all the stuff that like we kind of looked through rose-colored glasses, like it wasn't that bad. It sucked.
What?
Stuff sucked. So he talked about it. He showed like a lot of the glitches too, which was great. Like glitches that like everyone talks about, like you can't really visualize, like how the boss would follow you in a raid to an area where you couldn't get to. Showed all that. It was super cool to see. So I featured that. Yesterday was patch notes. Today, the pieces we'll have coming out is about how collecting the guns in this game has kind of brought back my like Pokemon fanboyism. Because in Pokemon Emerald, I caught them all, and then I retired from Pokemon, walked away from the game, didn't come back for the DS and all that. I caught them all and I walked away on top. So in this game, I went to my collections in the tower, looked at all the exotics I had them all. It was a great feeling. So I've caught them all in Destiny. I'm going to go catch them all again. I'll have a piece about that. And then just memories of Year 1. Cool things that I did. And like, talking about like stuff that friends did and like things we did together. How I found my guild. And like why the community is so cool for this game. So those will be pieces coming out on the site.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. And then, next week I'll talk about Taken King. I'll have a review of it. And then maybe after that we'll stop talking about Destiny.
Maybe.
But we will see.
We'll see what October brings.
Now, we move on to this crazy thing called news. This thing that happens in the gaming universe. Gaming news top story. Fallout 4 has a season pass.
Surprise!
Bethesda announced there's going to be DLC for Fallout 4. Can you believe it, guys? They're going to expand on this game, this amazing, awesome game that we can't wait for. So, it's going to be $30. They say it'll be a $40 value, so I'm thinking of it as like 4 expansions to ship in early 2016. And basically, it'll be similar to expansion we've seen in Fallout 3 and Skyrim, going all the way back to Oblivion. Or just going to be little things keep coming back, like 10 to 15 hour expansions. Probably base 10, 15 hours, but you might get more enjoyment out of it, and new gear to see. Like, the Fallout 3 expansions completely changed that game, like, with the gear that they had. Like, if you have an expansion now for Fallout 3, before you beat the story, you go and play Operation Anchorage so you can get T-51 battle armor before you're supposed to get in the game, kind of break it in that way. So it'd be cool to see how that changes the base Fallout 4 after we've played it for, like, 500 hours. What do you guys think about the Season Pass announcement?
I'm hoping, because I'll probably buy it, but I'm hoping that they do what they did with Skyrim and have maybe better quality and larger expansions as opposed to what they did for Fallout 3 with smaller, multiple ones. Because the DLC for Fallout 3 was very cool and very good, but I'm hoping maybe they choose the Skyrim route for give us 20 to 30 hour expansions and then just go that route with it. Jaeger, thoughts?
Not many. I mean, you guys really covered it all. It's at this point we just don't know enough about it. I'll be really interested in knowing like if it's core story stuff or just like additional stuff to the other systems they have in the game, like adding different features to the building, like building forts or the mods or whatever. I'll be interested in knowing exactly what the season pass entails.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be story DLC, or at least maybe not main story DLC, depending on what their story is, and hopefully they've learned from from Fallout 3 and they don't have to retcon their own ending by saying, oh, wait a minute, you're not dead, you can come back and spoilers for Fallout 3, but you're not dead, you can come back and play the DLC now. So they just hopefully they're smarter about that this time. But
not you Blaze the dog.
Yeah, hopefully now knowing Bethesda, I'm sure they've learned from their past mistakes and will improve upon them. So yeah, the Fallout 3 DLC or Fallout 4 DLC is going to be awesome. Fallout 4 is going to be awesome. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Give it now. Make it happen.
Yeah, pretty much. And on a side note, a completely different game, but some of the stuff I've been hearing about MGS5 makes me want to check that game out more and more these days. Just some of the odd stuff that you can do in that game and how you can approach it. Not necessarily the story stuff that they do, but I've heard stories of people doing the same mission and doing it have completely different ways of going about it and have a different story to tell about it. So it sounds interesting. So it's maybe something I'll want to dive into come December or so when it drops, I would imagine.
You know what scares me about that game? Is that I go into it, I observe a base, I find every way I want to go, and then one guy sees me and I'm like, well, gotta kill everyone. Kill them all. And then I'll to my base, I'll send them all up in balloons.
Trank them all. You don't have to kill them all.
But like, it sounds like the game's diverse enough to where like it's not all go into a base, observe it, take it down. There's different ways to play.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The coolest thing I've seen about it is like, if you go in and you do your mission, you get everything you need, and then like everyone's alerted. You could jump onto a tank while it's shooting at you, hit a balloon on it, and then ride the tank out. And then when it gets back to your base, you've like killed the guy that was in there. So
Nice.
it's yours now. That's a way to end a mission. That's super cool.
Right on. And props to having Hollywood on dead as your phone.
Oh yeah, thank you. I have someone calling me right now.
Get hit with a copyright strike.
I felt like answering it during the show. I listened to an ESPN podcast about fantasy football where one of the hosts, his wife, calls him. He's like, "I'm doing the show. How do you not know this? I've been on the show for 5 years." Yeah, we talked about the Fallout expansion. Now we'll talk about one of the other Game of the Year contenders getting expansion, Witcher 3, on October 13th, 2015. It is called The Hearts of Stone. It's made so that you have to be level 30 to play. It says it'll take you around 10 hours to beat. There's going to be new romance options, and then a new area, new weapons. Todd is our Witcher expert. What do you think of this announcement? What does it mean?
It means my 300-plus hour playthrough probably just jumped up to another 400 hours. It's giving me more of a game world that I love and enjoying thoroughly. And I don't know if you guys saw they're selling a physical version of that expansion pack where they'll send you a code and you can get two decks of Gwent cards and play. So that'll be something, and a rule book on how Gwent works. So maybe I'll finally figure out and be able to understand it. But it sounds, I saw the teaser, I saw the what they plan to do, and where they're going with it. And it sounds like fun. As far as the level, you need required to be level 30. If you finish the game once and do the New Game Plus mode, they bump you right up to level 30 in the New Game Plus. So that shouldn't necessarily be a problem, and it is something you can integrate into your current playthrough. So that's something that'll be something fun. So October 13th is going to be a good day for Witcher fans. Jaeger, play that game. Jaeger, play that game.
Okay, how much does it cost?
Witcher probably can get it, I thought, on Amazon for $40 right now.
Or
That's not bad.
what I'm going to do with that game, which is buy the version that comes with the expansions when it's discounted.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
get a Game of the Year edition come
To be honest
February.
with you, I'll feel bad about it because that game just has so much content. But I mean, there's just so many other games right now, and I don't have much time, so that's my option, really.
Yeah. Well, that's what I love about the game is that it's keeping me occupied. That yes, there are other games out there that I would love to play, but financially I can't buy them all. So I bought one that's keeping me occupied for, well, it's coming up on 2.5 months now, and it's just I'm still discovering new stuff about it. I'm still enjoying it thoroughly, and not pining away at other games that I don't have. So
Are you trying to tell me that your God doesn't have a wealth of content that you can play for months?
No. I haven't touched Dear God. I'm sorry.
I went back to Dear God.
Oh yeah, well, tell me about it.
Never coming back. I got to the wall where like I have to do something now.
Spoiler alert.
I have to find like food for a lady and her family, and the area circles around, and I can't find it. So like, okay, Dear God, I'm on day 17. I don't know how to help you. But yeah, man, I challenged myself where I was like, I'm just gonna run. I'm not gonna fight anything. I'm gonna keep going, and I hit this wall, day 17. I hit this spot. I platformed for like 5 in-game days from day 12 to day 17. Just went, played it like a platformer. The music is awesome. If the music wasn't so good in that game, probably would have put it down. Very thematic as I'm going through different environments. But yeah, I gotta find food for a family, so I'm a deer. I'm gonna stop.
Feed yourself to them.
Yeah, you have to feed humans, right? How does that work?
Venison, man, venison.
Venison's good.
I wish I could kill the porcupines that are trying to fight me and feed it to them. Maybe they could skin it. Like the people who are like Alaskan Eskimos, I'm pretty sure you can skin a porcupine.
Or maybe it's like Yoshi's Island. You need to like there are like apples everywhere. You just need to like suck in the apples and regurgitate them to the humans.
Look, I made applesauce. Wow. It's vegan.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because you're like a lumberjack or something, or like a hunter that killed a deer, so now you're vegan. Oh man, that story's so deep, man.
Yeah.
All right, so this will probably be our final news story in case anyone has anything else. But Ubisoft is building a theme park in Malaysia, and if this theme
Climb
park,
a tower to open up the bigger parts of the map, and
if you don't go into parts of this theme park and have to climb towers to get to other parts of the theme park, it's a waste of my time.
if there's not a ride where I can stand on the edge of a bell tower and jump into a cart full of hay, I want my money back.
No, dude, the park maps, they're hidden on top of a radio tower, and you have to climb it to get to the park map.
In your car.
Since in Malaysia they should be pro-recycling, all maps are digital. And as you walk through the park and you tag your little phone, tablet, whatever on parts of the park, it discovers more of the map, and you know where to go.
Oh, dude, and there are like drones that you can control with an app on your phone. They're like, oh, dude, that would be fun.
Yeah, but if you don't have the companion app, you don't have enough Uplay points. You can't get in there, and you can't play. I'm sorry, you cannot enter the park today. Maybe
Yeah.
reattach the servers tomorrow and see if you can get in.
Admittance is tied to your Uplay account.
Oh man, Ubisoft! Wow, the hits just keep on
What's it
coming
going to
from
be?
that.
Is it going to be just like worlds, like here's Assassin's Creed world where you can parkour, here's the Crew world, here's Splinter Cell world where it's stealthy? Is it going to be rides?
What were the two that they confirmed? I know Rayman Rabbids was one of them. I don't remember the other one.
Just Rayman Rabbids, so there's going to be a ride. All they confirmed. It's 10,000 square meters. It's in Kuala Lumpur. That's it. Oh. They're producing digital media for the rides. So, is it like Star Tours, where like you sit in a room?
You have
That's
to
what I
buy.
was thinking.
You have to buy DLC as well as a ticket to get into it. What the hell?
We're advertising Rayman Rabbids and they get in. Okay. Here's the add-on.
Yeah, I don't know how familiar you guys are with theme park rides, but like I was imagining a Rabbids ride similar to the Toy Story rides that they have at Disney, or maybe the Men in Black ride that they have at Universal, where it's like an interactive party game type thing. Because I mean that's all Rabbids is. If you want story content, you go to Rayman. You don't go to Rabbids. So like when I ride these cinematic theme park rides, like the Spider-Man ride at Universal, or the Back to the Future ride that used to be there, the Mummy, the Simpsons ride. Like I'm there for the story. I'm not really there for
The ride.
to see Rabbids. like Rabbids just don't seem that interesting to me. Like the ride itself is like, of course, the main component, how interesting the ride is, but other than that, like I mean, they have to up the ante, and you don't get that from Rabbids.
Isn't Nintendo trying this too? They're opening their own theme park.
It's a collaborative effort with Universal Studios Orlando.
Because see, that makes more sense to me. Sell your collaborate with somebody. So that's what Ubisoft should do.
Yeah,
Go to Six Flags. Go to something that already has an established park system.
Apparently, it is though. Apparently, it's already a theme park company in Malaysia. I mean, I've just never heard of it. So.
Oh, okay. It's just whatever.
I think it was like RNC or something. I don't know. Republican National Committee. I don't know, something like that. It was R something. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way it really makes sense to me.
Most visited country in Asia. So they're capitalizing on that tourism market.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Probably a tourism company that involved with Malaysia. Then they're involved with like little theme parks they have on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the British company Merlin, they have theme parks all over Europe, and they also own the Eyes in London and Melbourne and Orlando. So I mean, it's probably just one of those big conglomerate companies that has a ton of theme parks throughout Asia.
Yeah, it'd be a cool Splinter Cell ride where Sam Fisher's got to go through and sneak through, and it goes through cool environments. That would be a cool one.
You have to do the split jump across a couple of walls over everybody.
All right, it is theme park developer RSG, so I was close enough. But yeah, like as long as they're not doing it on their own, I think this might be okay. Because I don't know if I would trust a game publisher with a theme park.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like if there's lands based on it, and then the rides are like based on the game. I guess that's cool.
Yeah, that could be really interesting. I hope it's not just like a big studio thing, though, where you're like going from one ride to the next. I hope it's a really immersive environment.
No, it'd be cool. It'd be the Division world, where it's like a virtual New York City, and then there's paid actors running around.
Man, you know how crazy the licensing would be for that sort of thing, though? With Tom Clancy and Ubisoft. Oh, man.
Yeah, you're right. What if they couldn't get any Tom Clancy properties?
I'm sure they can.
They own the rights to Tom Clancy's properties.
Full rights or just game rights?
They bought all the game, all the property, all the rights they have for those.
They own Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy's an Ubisoft property.
He is. But I mean, other than the books, they own everything else.
Huh.
They bought that stuff a long time ago. At least for the titles that they use it for. So the Ghost Recon and all that other stuff that they use it for, they have it lock, stock, and barrel. At least as far as I knew. I was given false information, which is entirely possible because the internet does lie.
That is very true.
If Michael Jackson can buy the Beatles, then Ubisoft can buy Tom Clancy. Okay. That's
leave that one alone.
Okay.
Yep.
So, any other news stories you guys have seen that we haven't covered?
Apple is attempting to make gaming relevant for them, but that's not going to happen, so we can move on.
It is the sleekest Ouya I've ever seen. I have to give Apple credit for their simplistic design.
At least they're trying. I mean, so to speak.
Yeah.
Here's an iOS console that you can have do something with. I mean, yeah, that's another thing. What OS system are they using?
Apple.
For that.
iOS,
yeah, obviously.
I'm sure it's a different form of their mobile interface.
So basically, my iPhone's to be on my TV. Who the hell cares? No.
Like I don't have a deep hatred for mobile games, but there's a reason they're mobile games.
There are mobile games I have on my phone that I love that I'll play when I'm in an environment that is conducive to something like that. But it's not something I spend hours and hours playing. So I mean, they're quick, one hit, 5-10 minute here. I'll die quick in Flappy Bird or try to kill the world and play Incorporated or something like that. But it's not something that I'm spending hundreds of hours on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the GameCube introduced the ability to play your Game Boy on your TV. How many people use that? Like, it's not that interesting to play handheld on a TV. There's a time and a place for handheld, and the resolution that you get, the breadth of games that you get, just isn't conducive to sitting in your living room on a giant TV.
Yeah, it's just I think because the Apple TV as a product is very good and very conducive. They make that very well. But I think they're throwing this gaming portion into it as kind of an afterthought, as a bit of a finally telling kind of their way of saying, shut up, we're done talking about this, we've done it now, move on. This is not who we are. If they wanted to get into gaming, they would have done it a long time ago. This is not a gaming company is not what they want to be.
They would have done it with Halo.
Right. They would when they could have locked it up or something like that, but that's not. It's just not who they want to be. I mean, the App Store's kind of turned into that, but it's not. It's not something they support on a real strong day-to-day type stuff. It's because you have to figure out what's good and what's out there and what you want to. The App Store is good, but at the same time, it's a mess.
And but I don't know if those features are for us as gamers. Like I really just like I want to ask someone who's like a normal person, like, hey, if your Apple TV could play Guitar Hero and Rayman, would you play that? And they'd be like, yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Like, what does the market think of this? Because they probably think it's pretty darn cool.
Yeah,
Well,
but also, do you think the mainstream market even knows this is happening? Think about
well, it's
that.
Apple. I'm sure they do, but
Yeah, but they're waiting. I'm sure all they heard was the new iPad, the new the 6S, and then okay, well,
and the
see you
Surface
later.
Pro.
Yeah, I mean, that Apple copying other people, but that's Apple's MO for
That's
life.
technology's MO.
Yeah, true, that is. But
Yeah, but it's like they buy this product and then they tune it up and they go to the App Store for it. And it's like, hey, Guitar Hero's here. They're like, oh man, Guitar Hero, really?
Well, I mean, but we also had this with like SingStar and Just Dance, how they integrated phones, and they were both bombs. So,
Boys, mute it.
sorry.
I mean, I don't know exactly how they respond to this as a casual mainstream market, but I can't imagine. I can imagine them wanting an Apple TV because they like an Apple TV, but I can't see them getting it and then wanting to play games on it.
Yeah, I also think it's a bigger deal than everyone makes it out to be. It's
Maybe.
not Apple wanting to make games. It's another feature to the Apple TV.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just an environment for people to develop for, another environment for them to develop for. Because with Apple, you can develop for mobile, you can develop for a big iPad, you can develop for a PC, or you can develop for a Mac. But now you can also just develop for a TV, and you can develop with a controller interface in mind.
Yeah,
And there's such a huge market, so I mean, people are going to develop for it.
yeah, but I think a lot of what's going to end up happening is a lot of their it's going to be like every other Android console stuff you can get on your phone to be on the TV, and
Yeah.
and we see how successful that is every other time they do it. I mean, the Amazon Fire TV is not a gaming platform. It's there, but we have a Fire Stick in our bedroom and we use it to stream stuff. It's not it's not how majority of people want to play their games. And when it comes to the people who do enjoy mobile games strongly, don't want to pick up a controller because if they did, they would have already.
I don't disagree with you, but when Apple does something, that's when it becomes mainstream and everybody starts wanting to do it. So
I just don't get the thinking here.
These announcements are behind the time of what's mainstream because they just announced a Surface,
yeah, but now it's going to be big. Now everybody's going to want that.
Samsung Galaxy 6, and an Ouya.
Yeah, I mean they do that a lot, but it always catches on when they do it. So we'll
That's
see
true.
if it happens this time.
Apple,
I think it will. I mean, the Apple Watch didn't bomb, and it should have. So
yeah, I suppose. But I mean, I guess you're right. Apple could sell shit in a box, and then people would buy it in
yeah,
droves.
as long as it has sleek corners and a nice interface.
Looks good in the case. They're all down for it.
Do you have one? Huh? Do you have one? I want gold.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it, and I don't think it can be understood. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. I just don't get it. But whatever. Apple's got the money to throw at stuff. It's not like even if it flops, they still got billions of dollars in cash sitting in bank accounts across the world. So they'll be just fine.
yeah, and even if the gaming side of it does flop, they just lost out on some controller money. I mean, they didn't miss out on much else because they're still selling a bunch of Apple TVs just for
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the people who miss out are going to be the people actually making games for it. And I presume in like a a year or two, people will stop making games for it, or it will just be mobile ports. Like, I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but I assume like it takes extra work to develop for the motion controls and the controller support. So I imagine it will phase out eventually. I can imagine this is going to be a staying thing for them.
So Wii Sports will come to Apple TV. Wii Sports 2 will come to Apple TV.
Apple
And a
Sports.
bunch of. There you go.
iSports.
Let's all develop that Apple Sports. That could be the app.
We'll get sued.
I mean, there's a Mario knockoff, isn't there? Like, then wasn't there a big thing about how someone claimed to made a Zelda game and it was Flappy Bird? When you clicked, like, that was the thing that happened.
So our Apple logo won't have a bite taken out of the apple. That's how we're
okay.
that trademark thing.
All right, I got you.
Our Apple logo will be a tennis ball.
With the bite taken out of it.
There you go. Sold. Done. Trademark pending.
Or we can just use like the Nickelodeon version. It's like a pear with a bite taken out of it. I assume that works.
And then Nickelodeon sues us.
Oh yeah, we get sued for using their parody. Oh my god. I'm not sure that's how parody law works. But like,
universe. This game, it's straight out of the Dan Schneider universe.
Well,
Oh
as
my
far
God.
as people,
there's gonna be
I don't
feet everywhere. Feet
I don't know
everywhere.
about you two, but as far as someone suing me, come at me, bro. I got nothing. So whatever you want, just go try to sue me.
You
What do
want
you
my
want?
computer and my Xbox? Have it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's about all I'm worth. About a couple $100 in my checking account. That's about it.
No publicity is good publicity. All right, so that ends that news story. If that's everything, we could close out the show. What do you guys say?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
So, what are you guys working on? Gaming Saucecast. GamingSauce.com. What do you got going on?
I just published the Forza 6 wrap-up for a game that's going to be launching tomorrow for people who buy the Ultimate Edition, and in 5 days for everybody else. It looks like it's going to be a really interesting game, and I recommend that you read that story. I'm also putting the finishing touches on my Activision, Bungie, Blizzard article, and the interconnection between all of that, and what I think about the giant conglomerate that is Activision Blizzard. Yeah, that's about it.
I'm gonna start. I'm actually gonna start using our Twitch channel more at gamingsauce.twitch.tv. So come check us out there, and I will start, playing with Twitch and start streaming whatever the hell is I feel like it, and see what happens. So come follow us there. See us on Twitch.
So where are we? Gaming Sauce TV on Twitch?
I believe so.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
We'll get that. We'll get that information figured out before we start broadcasting it to everybody. So
Yeah.
we know where to send them.
If you want to email us your thoughts on the podcast, questions, you can find us gamingsaucetv@gmail.com. gamingsaucetv@gmail.com. And if you're watching this, you've found us, Gaming Sauce TV, on YouTube. All our podcasts are here. Please check out our past podcasts if you'd like. If you're listening to this, you're probably listening on SoundCloud or iTunes. Thank you for subscribing. This week's episode will be available for 1 week, so tell your friends if you enjoyed it, if you liked it. And then next week, we'll rotate it out, and you'll have a new episode in your queue. So, if that's it, GamingSauce.com. You can find us there. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you, Todd and Jaeger, for joining me.
Thank
No
you.
problem. It's been fun, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.